Hi, welcome to the Hayden Urban Renewal Agency. It's November 18th, 2024. Let's have a roll call, please.
Rhonda Mitchell.
Here.
Steve Meyer.
Yes.
Colin Meehan.
Here.
Randy McIntyre. Michael Thayer. Matt Roeder.
Here.
Joy Richards.
Yes, here.
All right, thank you. Let's stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. Matt, do you want to lead us in the pledge?
I'd be glad to. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Liberty and justice for all.
Echo.
Thank you. All right. Do we have any additions or corrections to the agenda today?
We do not, and Abby said that she'd be here to do the new business number 1, so if she doesn't show up by then, I might go grab her.
Okay.
Would you like me to grab it?
Sure. Well, she said she was going to have a question maybe on this section.
The consent calendar section. Let's see. So, hearing none, let's call for any conflicts of interest. Do we have any conflicts today? No conflicts. Visitor and public comments. Would anyone like to say anything? Okay. Moving along, let's go to our consent calendar. Does anybody have any questions or anything on the consent calendar? Well, I do. I am trying to figure out on the trial balance report for the city, period 9/30/2024, figure out how you come up with the fund balance restricted balance of the $5,453,000.
Which line was it?
So it's right on this page here.
What page number are you on, Rhonda?
Right here is 1 and 2.
Oh, 1
It's
or 2.
this
Okay.
very first page. This right here. The fund balance restricted under our.
What page are you looking at?
Right here, this very
Where's
first
where that
page.
comes from?
First one after the agenda.
I
This is
think
5.4.
potentially, but I don't want to give that answer 1,000% until I.
Because this is your equity, so it should be assets minus liabilities. This is your equity position, and I can't come up with that number.
We're probably going to have to get back to you and have a real solid answer. I think it comes out of the budget, like what our budget item line was from the year
okay.
before, but we don't, without going and seeing what the software is doing to pull that out, I just want to make
I
sure.
don't want to tell you for certain until I have a for certain.
Sure. So, yeah, that'd be great if you could just let us know. Thank you. All right. Any other questions? All right, hearing none, do I have a motion?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second?
Been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All right. Can we have a roll call vote?
Rhonda Mitchell.
Yes.
Steve Meyer.
Yes.
Colin Meehan.
Yes.
Michael Thayer.
Yes.
Matt Roeder.
Yes.
Joy Richards.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Now for our new business. We have an easement for the bench placement.
So, yeah, Abby was going to come and present on this, which I can grab her if there's any questions, but this is to place one of the benches, if you remember that we helped pay for. on the parking lot property that we own, and there's a legal description written here.
Do you kind of know where it's gonna be?
Yeah, I think I kind of know.
I guess that was my only question.
Let me take this up there.
It's exhibit D, looks like.
I can't tell where it
This
is.
Towards the back. Did you see that sheet?
Yeah, that just has, oh, I see, so it has a,
And,
okay.
this must be the owl property, maybe?
Is that the owl up there?
I don't know that for sure.
Yeah, I think we can pull it up and take a look. So, I mean, let's see, so we own this one, it's this one, and it's 82 feet down, so let me get a measuring tool. Oops. Like kind of right in there where there's landscaping.
So there, isn't that where the art pieces are right in there too with the dragonflies? Aren't they dragonflies?
They're to each side of that entry, I think.
So they would probably go right in the middle of the
I
dragonflies.
wonder if we can open
And is it the whole grassy area they were given the easement to, or just the little dimension for the?
It's 5 foot by 25, so let's see. Let's see. Okay.
So 5 foot by 20 foot is just the size of the bench.
Or the size of the easement, it doesn't mean the bench
easement.
is that large.
These are the benches that we did that grant for, right?
Right.
Yep.
Correct. So I think it's right in here, and so, like, if I go to Kootenai County, it's just south of the first one. I guess it's up here a
Yeah,
little
there.
bit more. So it's not where the art is.
Okay.
It's like in here.
Kind of in that, by the trees where the swale area is.
Yeah.
then. Okay.
Do we need an easement? Can't we just give them permission to put a bench on our property?
No.
Doesn't work that way?
Yeah, we talked about it with Pete before, and we didn't need something this fancy necessarily, but this is the route that the city decided to go and just have the surveyor put a little exhibit together, which is great because now there's no question.
And it's literally for a bench? The name of the easement is a bench easement?
Yep, legal description of bench easement.
All right.
So they don't put a bench there.
Be
They
trouble.
don't have any easement. Okay. Any other questions about this? Hearing none, do I have a motion?
Motion to approve the bench easement as presented in JB Exhibit A and B.
Second.
First and seconded, any other discussion? Can we have a roll call vote?
Rhonda Mitchell,
Yes.
Steve Meyer,
Yes.
Colin Meehan,
Yes?
Michael Thayer,
Yes.
Matt Roder,
Yes.
Joy Richards,
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, the HURA election of officers.
You need to have nominations?
I guess that's probably the best thing.
Yeah, so we should do nominations, and we should start with the chair first.
Can we nominate the existing officers for another term in a single motion?
you could, that's the way we did it last year, yeah, if that's what somebody wants to propose.
Rhonda, will you continue?
I would like to continue. How does everyone else feel?
I think you guys are doing a great job the way it is. And if you would like to continue doing it,
I agree.
I would be in favor.
Randy's not here.
Yeah.
He's the vice chair right now.
To
So.
defend
But he
himself.
is reappointed, so he just got reappointed by council. So at least
Usually the
he's
guy that's
still-
not here has to be the chair.
Right?
I was gonna ask you, Michael, if you wanted to
I
take over
really
chair.
do not. No, I'm good.
Okay.
There's a lot of honor and glory. Maybe honor, not so much glory. I move that we approve the existing officers for another term.
I'll second it.
It's been first and seconded. Any other discussion? Can we have a roll call vote?
Rhonda Mitchell,
Yes?
Steve Meyer,
Yes?
Colin Meehan,
Yes.
Michael Thayer,
Yes.
Matt Roder,
Yes.
Joy Richards.
Yes,
Great, thank you. Okay, the Owl Cafe agreement with the North Idaho.
On the
Museum.
meeting calendar.
Oh. The meeting calendar. I reviewed the dates. I didn't see any holiday conflicts.
Okay. Yeah, we've already moved on for that.
Right. Anybody else have any
Any issues?
of the dates?
Seems fine to me. Yeah, nothing sticks out.
Okay.
Is that an
So
action item?
that's an action item. Ooh.
I move to approve the 2025 meeting calendar.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
Are these dates, didn't we used to try to meet on the first Monday?
The second Monday.
Second Monday. And are these consistently the second Monday?
Except for the October 20th one.
Mhm.
Got it. So the exception is noted there. Thank you.
All in favor of the meeting calendar?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. Now to the Owl Cafe agreement with North Idaho Museum.
Yeah, so I wanted to update you on this. So Pete drafted this. I've sent it to them, and their executive director is good with it, but I just checked my email. She hasn't heard back from her attorney. So I don't know if you can approve it contingent upon there being no changes. And if there are changes, then it would have to come back, or if that's not okay. I'm hoping that's okay, just because there's something else in here that's, you know, to get a quote to get the sign removed.
Right.
And I think we need an agreement with the museum before we remove the sign, since that's where it's going. So, I don't know if we can.
So this, if you want to, this agreement could be approved contingent upon any minor, immaterial revisions proposed by the museum that are acceptable, to me and the chairperson.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. That's what I was hoping.
I had an opportunity to read through this, obviously, and I didn't have any questions. Does anybody else have any questions about the agreement?
Seems pretty straightforward.
I did confirm with them that where I got the signed quote, they said they estimate it's probably about 12 feet tall. Like, it doesn't look that tall because it's on top of the building. So they said, make sure that they know it's that big and they said, yep, we'll put it in our large format storage, and we've got room for it. So I
Okay.
confirmed that.
Okay. Well, then do I have a motion to approve? With
I
all
move
this
we
stuff?
approve the agreement with North Idaho Museum subject to their approval of the same text.
and allow for minor, adjustments as long as Pete says they're acceptable.
Allowing for minor adjustments. Well, this is in charge of determining what is minor.
Well, and Pete.
I'll second that.
All right, first and seconded. Do we have a roll call vote?
Rhonda Mitchell,
Yes?
Steve Meyer,
Yes.
Colin Meehan,
Yes.
Michael Thayer,
Yes.
Matt Roder,
Yes.
Joy Richards.
Yes.
Okay, next, the sign removal.
Yeah, so I called around to ask, like, who had expertise in neon signs. I said that it still works, and, you know, so anyway, this is who was recommended. And so this is the quote I got, and I did not think it seemed bad at all. But I didn't get another one just because nobody else was recommended that specifically dealt with neon signs.
That doesn't seem bad at all.
And when I talked to them, they walked me through, they take the neon off and they package it and they build like a container to transport it in, and
And they deliver it right
they're gonna
there.
deliver it to the museum storage. Yep.
My only question is the exclusion where it says the above prices do not include primary electrical tax permits or engineering fees. Do we have any idea what that might be?
I don't think there's anything.
Okay, well, that's what
Yeah.
I'm asking.
Yeah, that's probably in there more for installation than anything else when they're
Right.
putting one up.
They know that they have to disconnect it from power and do all of that.
Okay.
So as you understand it, they take the neon tubes
And they pack them,
and, because they're fragile.
right,
Very fragile.
yep.
And did I see somewhere here the idea that, oh, I know, it was in the agreement, that if we ever have a museum in Hayden, they would agree to
Yeah,
bring it back or give
Yep.
it back to us.
right. And they agree to, they agree to give it back if we want it back.
Mhm.
I mean, we'd have to transport it again, but it's just a loan.
Do you know where it's going to be stored?
Yes, they have a facility at 113 North First in Coeur d'Alene. I don't know, I haven't
Yeah,
like
that's
checked it out myself, but that's the address. They have like a big storage facility, is the way it's been described to me.
I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the sign corp proposal.
Second.
First and seconded, any other discussion? Do we have a roll call vote?
Rhonda Mitchell,
Yes.
Steve Meyer,
Yes.
Colin Meehan,
Yes.
Michael Thayer,
Yes.
Matt Roder,
Yes.
Joy Richards.
Yes.
Great, thank you. Okay, the audit engagement letter.
Yeah, I would like to get the auditor going more quickly this year because last year it took longer than we thought and we missed the deadline. You're supposed to have your audit submitted in June, and I don't think we submitted ours or completed ours till a couple months later. So I'd like to get them going. Just because there's a lot that the city has to assemble, and they have their own audit to do as well, so it's pretty time consuming, so.
Is this the same firm?
This
that
is
does
the
city?
same firm. If you remember last year, I called around quite a bit and there's really no one else. So, the cost is more, and.
More than last year?
Yeah, kinda is what it is. It's even more than we budgeted, let's see.
$11,500.
We budgeted 9,400.
And do you have there easily available what we paid last year?
I don't. We had, it looks like 8,500.
So it was 8,500 to 11,500.
Yeah, which was up from the year before too.
Right.
Wow.
I mean, sort of is what it is. There's so few that do this type of work. And I did get some quotes last year that were higher, so I didn't.
Much higher.
Yeah, so I mean,
And
it's
I
a
think-
very kind of
Niche.
niche type of municipal finance type audit.
And I think I asked, but I didn't understand the answer. Is this the same firm that does the city?
Uh-huh. It is, correct? Yes. And they are good to work with. They really are. I mean,
Is this firm one of the alumni from Magnuson McHugh when they?
oh, I don't know that. They're in
Changed a bunch of
Spokane. I
people.
believe they're in Spokane. Do you know anything?
It used to
about
be
that?
Anderson Brothers.
This is the old Anderson Brothers
Right.
firm
Yep.
that Tony Hackworth acquired from the Anderson Brothers.
Thank you, that's what I was looking for.
Any other questions? Motion?
Yeah, I move to approve the audit engagement letter.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any other questions, discussion? Yeah, we'll roll call vote.
Rhonda Mitchell,
Yes.
Steve Meyer,
Yes?
Colin Meehan,
Yes.
Michael Thayer,
Yes.
Matt Roder,
Yes.
Joy Richards,
Yes.
Okay. To the executive director report.
Yeah, so what's happening with the OPAs? Nothing new has come in, but we did pay in full in this last reimbursement, that H6 sewer OPA. So now we're starting to pay Rock Properties, so they just barely started getting reimbursement.
It looked like there's a disbursement to Marketplace
Mhm.
too. This was their first.
This was their first as well. They would have gotten paid last time, but they paid their taxes in full, and so they didn't get, we could have given them a reimbursement on the second payment of the month, but we weren't. They have to have made a payment after the promissory note is paid to get reimbursement. So this is their first.
Okay.
Yep, Marketplace at Miles. So just so you know, I mean, now we have one less because we're done with H6 now. Any questions on any of that? So the Owl Cafe, just to kind of update you, I am going to meet the folks from Habitat at the cafe tomorrow to see if they want any of the rest of what's there. So I'll see what they have to say.
I believe I missed the meeting where we talked about the online auction thing. Did that have good results?
Yeah, what did we,
Almost.
$5,000 or something?
A couple $1,000 bucks.
3,500 it looked like was
Okay.
deposited.
Right,
if I was
so,
thinking correctly.
yeah. But there's still a lot of stuff in there, you guys. I mean, so,
And then one of the family members asked about the,
The shutters or something?
yep,
that
and you
window.
guys agreed, so that will be a requirement for when we're ready to demo it, to take that off and we'll give it to her.
okay, good.
I think that's the only thing that they wanted though.
Yeah.
Good.
So yeah, so hopefully Habitat will be interested. They said like maybe the doors and stuff like that, the interior doors. But I mean, everything else is pretty old, so maybe cabinets, stuff like that.
Okay.
Are all the utilities shut off at this point except for sewer?
Not gas. I didn't shut off the gas because that's what runs the furnace.
Okay.
But this, I mean, the sewer, the water's turned off, and so there's nothing going to the sewer, but the city won't let us like actually turn off our sewer bill unless we, unless it's like physically disconnected.
Yeah, it has to be capped.
Yeah, so, But we've turned off what we can.
You know, it might, you suppose we'll get it demolished this year, or it might be in the spring?
I think it's pretty good winter work. I mean, I guess my thought process would be to get the sign safely down, get Habitat to get anything out, and then I did have a call into just a regular contractor that has big excavation equipment to see at that point, would we need a salvage company to come get everything else out, or could we just have them, you know, somebody like that just take everything else out? So, I mean, we want the foundation removed, we want the hole filled, we want the whole 9 yards. I would imagine. So
Are we
it'll be
gonna have it gravel after
Yeah.
it's demoed? Okay.
Yep. I think we'd put gravel down.
So it could be used as parking after that?
Good. Like overflow.
Yeah.
Sure. I don't think the city really allows that, you know, technically, but, you know,
I think the city has a rule that they don't allow gravel parking lots,
correct. So it would be an unofficial
unofficial
gravel parking lot.
Doesn't the city
That's
have
what I
one
said.
right
The
next to
city
the
doesn't really
softball field
allow
right
that,
there?
but sure.
I didn't
Right? Yes.
When we've taken houses down
Unofficial.
before,
Yeah.
we didn't cut them, we just left, whatever's left in it, and the toilets and all that stuff gets scooped up in the excavator. and
Okay.
Dumped in the truck
Okay.
and off it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that's the easiest way, I just wanted to talk to some contractors, you know, that have the big equipment like that and just say,
The two
how
who
do we
it
get
are
this accomplished?
Greg Peck,
Yeah, Peck.
and the other one is who?
Cannon Hill does some of
Cannon
it. I
Hill.
don't know, that I've been
Do
told
it
by
all,
them that they
though.
don't take everything.
Right.
So,
I'd almost just rather have a general contractor that could just get it all done.
I think there's only two.
Do we have to worry about asbestos?
Yep.
you called somebody to have them go through and sample, or did they sample? Or was
We
it just
didn't. So what ended up happening is that All West had done it in the past. I called them to get a quote, and they called me back and said, actually, we've done a report on that building just a couple of years ago, and nothing's changed. And so they called the owner of the report, and they allowed them to release it to us, so we didn't even have to pay for it, so that's really nice. So the city will require that report, and then we'll have to pull a demo permit. Yep.
And does the report show there's asbestos
Yep.
that needs to be removed?
Yep, in like the tile, and the ceiling tiles and stuff like that, which is not surprising. So the contractor will have to deal with it. But I, in talking with people, it doesn't sound like it's that big of a deal. You bag it in a certain way and.
Great.
So are you just gonna get some quotes for once the sign is down?
Yeah, because I just don't want to do it right now, not knowing like the timing of
Yeah.
the sign and stuff. I just think that needs to be taken care of, and then we can get quotes. And,
Sounds good.
yeah.
Good.
The
Does
oh,
the
go
fire
ahead.
department wanna set it on fire and get some practice, or?
It's block.
No, I mean, it's a CMU block
With
building.
all that asbestos?
Probably not
Probably
a great
not, huh?
idea, yeah. Okay, so the only other thing is that we should have an update before our next meeting on the HURA boundary expansion process. So I didn't have anything for this meeting, but I got an email from Megan Conrad, who's the attorney handling that process, and she thought she'd have some progress to report by our next meeting. So I think that's about it. Any other questions?
So when we go through the process with our consultant, and the result will be a revised boundary and a description and valuation, do we still go back to the city council for approval round?
Yes, that's my understanding. That's it's the council's process
Yeah.
right now. Pete, do you wanna weigh in? That was my understanding, the council is hired
Sure,
this.
yeah, what we're waiting for now is the actual draft plan amendment that the city and their outside counsel are working on. And once we get that and it's acceptable, we pass a resolution recommending that the plan amendment be approved, and then the city takes it up and they have to pass an ordinance which officially amends the plan. So.
What about the, now I forget RPM, or it's not that, but about, yeah.
Request for quote or request for proposal, RFP.
RFP for the development.
Yeah, the planning stuff that we workshopped
Right.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't drafted that yet, but I
Okay.
plan to do that before the next meeting.
okay.
Yep.
So do you need our approval before you submit that out, or can you just draft it and then?
And then get submittals.
request?
Probably, I think you can just send it. We already
You told me
voted on it.
what content you
Yeah.
wanted in it.
Right,
I think you ought to try to put in words what we talked about,
Yeah.
which is hard.
Yeah,
And then send
I
it
know.
back, at least to Rhonda, but
Sure.
maybe circulate it for invitation for people to tune it up with their interpretation of what we're asking for. Because I think what we're asking for is vague.
Kind of.
You know.
Yeah, but I have good notes from the workshop, and
Okay.
yeah, you guys gave me good direction.
yeah, I think we've already gone through the whole process, so
Mhm.
why not send it off and see what kind of,
Responses we
Response
get.
we get.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get some responses by the next meeting, so then you
Right.
guys can decide who you wanna,
Okay.
that's what I'm thinking.
engage with.
Mm.
Okay.
I have one item that, it affects us, but it's really not under our purview anyway, but, the city of Hayden has given, a dissolution notice to the, Hayden Lake, Sewer District. And, the city and the county signed off on that dissolution notice. And what that does is it starts the clock. I think it's 90 days that we have to negotiate and try to put an agreement together where basically the county and the Hayden Lake Sewer District will no longer be involved with the funding or decision-making at the Hayden Area Regional Sewer Board. And I just bring that up because what will happen is then, if it goes through, I think it eventually will end up it could end up in a court if we can't negotiate an agreement, is that we will then have full control under, the city will have control of the sewer plant. So I just bring that up for, I don't know how that could affect, it shouldn't affect users at all, but just be aware that that's in the works. I brought that up.
And is there disagreement with the Big Lake Sewer Water and Sewer District, or used to be, that title about dissolution and who pays what?
Yeah, one of the stumbling blocks that has been brought up, we do land application during the summer months. The rest of the year we outflow into the Spokane River and have to meet all the TMDL requirements. But we land apply, and we have about over 300 acres that the sewer plant owns of the prairie. And so there's a lot of value in that. And so there's argument about how that should be handled, and that's to be seen. That's about all I can say about it. But that's a great question. It's really difficult because I'm on the vice chair of the sewer board, and Leslie Duncan is the chairperson of it. Is that when you have three different entities trying to make decisions, and they all have their own interests, it's been very cumbersome. And so that's actually how originally it was just the city of Hayden and the Hayden Lake Sewer District that formed it, and then they couldn't get along, so the county was brought in as the tiebreaker.
Oh,
So now, we're trying to eliminate all that, the extra time and money it takes to, because each entity has an equal vote, and we have like 78% of the financial responsibility, we as a city. The county has 1% of the financial, they have an equal vote. So it's really disproportional, so we're hoping to solve that.
so then they'd just be a customer?
Wholesale customer. Correct.
So then the sewer district would basically be the city of Hayden's sewer district, or sewer plant, and the recreational sewer district would buy capacity and.
I think they'd just be a customer.
Yeah, that'd be just paying for treatment.
So
Yeah.
kind of like Post Falls,
And
Rathdrum
Rathdrum.
goes into Post Falls, and I don't know that they buy capacity.
No.
Maybe they do, but I think they're just a customer.
Yeah, that's how the proposal's been, is they'd be a wholesale customer.
Interesting.
And with that change, if it does go through, how would that impact the citizens and for the cost of the sewer?
That's a really great question, and what we've been doing is, we need to do a new rate study based on the new structure of, if we do have dissolution, that makes the city the sole owner, and then at that point, we'll be able to, it's premature to do a rate study without it being definitive what happens. But yeah, that will be part of it. A vital part of it.
Okay, anything else?
I got nothing.
All right. We're here a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We're adjourned. Thank you.
That's an easy one.
Hey, this is really fun.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Thank you, Joy. Thanks for dialing in.
Bye, Joy.
Bye.